Well, hi, hello, and welcome to this video. So today I'm sharing all about how to get visitors to your artist's open studios or open house, whatever you call it. Now, I am 3 days away from opening the doors myself to my first open studio here in Perth. I did a lot of it back in the UK, but this will be super exciting, different audience, different venue. So I thought today it would be really important to talk about how to actually market that open studio, get those visitors through the door, and do all the things that I have just been doing in the last few weeks. Now, in my previous video, I talked about 7 reasons why doing an open house or open studio could be perfect for you. So if you haven't caught that video, don't forget to jump across and watch that when you finish watching this one. I'm going to share a little bit of what's worked in the past for me and also what I've been doing now. So don't forget to hang on to the end because I'm going to put in some sneak footage just showing you around the open house as it looks right now. And everything's hung, no labels are up yet, but we've definitely got stuff to look at. So I'm sure, like me, you're probably nosy and you'd like to have a look. So hang on to the end and I will put some footage on the end there to just give you a little idea of what's what in this open studio. So my name's Sophie Mahir and I help artists to make a living from their art or creativity by building a stable, profitable business doing what they love every single day. Now, if that's you and you'd like to have more tips and tricks on how to build that profitable business, or maybe you're just starting out, you're not quite sure what you should be doing next, then you're in the right place because on this channel I share all things growing an art business. So hang in, look around. I've got some playlists and a couple of featured videos and things like that. So if you enjoy learning about how to make money from your art, then you're in the right place. And if you love the content, don't forget to give me a like, subscribe to my channel, and then you'll get notified every single time I post a new video. All right, let's dive into those 5 ways to market your open studio. So I'm going to start number 1 with join a trail, or if there isn't one local to you, set one up. So this was 100% how I grew my art business back in the UK, but it's also how I grew my stable 4 times a year open studio as a big part of that. Where I wasn't in the main city, right? The main city had big art trails and all sorts of things going on. And where I was, there wasn't a trail specifically. So what I did was start one. So food for thought perhaps for those of you who might be watching this thinking, well, that's great, join a trail, but there isn't one near me. So first up, you want to have a look and see, is there an existing art trail that you could join where you live? And if there isn't, are there other artists that you know in your location that you could say, hey, do you want to start a trail? You could start really small with, say, 3 houses or 3 studios and grow from there. Now, I'm not gonna hide the fact there's a lot of work running a trail, and I will be doing another video on how to set up and run a trail if that's something you'd be interested in. But it's definitely worth the work invested, 100%. It was a lot of effort to get it going back in the day, but once we were up and running and we all worked as a team, it was fantastic. So the biggest way that you're going to get to market your art to begin with, or market your open studio, is to be part of a group. Because what will happen when you're in part of a trail is there will be a trail brochure, and you will have your venue, of course, in that brochure. And then depending on the size of the trail and your sort of trail budget, you can get those brochures out to as many places as possible. And again, if you're starting small, don't worry about it. You know, how many brochures could you get printed? And then where are the best places for them to be distributed? Top tip, you want to make sure that those brochures get in front of your target audience. Not sure who your target audience is? No worry, I did a video on that too. I'll put the links below in the description, but you can also grab a link to it right here where I talk about how to find your ideal audience. Because there's a difference between just getting visitors through the door at Open Studio, right? Where they all come around and go, yeah, that's lovely, that's really nice. Or the visitors that actually come around and really want to engage with you and then potentially buy from you. So those brochures need to go out in front of the right people, your target audience. And as I say, if you're in an established trail, then likely a large number of brochures will be going out. So here's the caveat with that. That is not all of your marketing. That's a part of your marketing. So I put it number 1 because I think it's the first thing I want you to consider. Are you part of a trail or are you going it alone? Which you totally can do, but you'll really have to emphasize all the other things I've got on my list here. So number 1, being part of a trail, or if you're not, start one up. Number 2, PR. So a lot of you might be watching already do PR as part of your business. Back in the day, we didn't have social media, didn't have email marketing, we didn't have online ads, just weren't all the things that we have available to us right now. So we had to use what there was. So I built my business really off the back of PR. What do I mean by that? Press release out to the paper. Have a story, have an angle, have a reason why they might want to cover your open studio. It's not really just a free advert because they're not going to be too happy with that. You can of course put yourself in listings and so forth in papers as well. But see whether you couldn't actually find an angle, find a story, and then ask even, you can write a press release, but you can ask the photographer to come along, take some photos to go with your article. You could get on local radio because all of these things, the papers, the radio, they're always looking for stories. So likely your open studio, either yourself or if you have a guest artist, there's maybe an angle or a story behind that. Or maybe you have someone coming to open your open studio and that is somebody that perhaps could generate some press. So you want about getting in the papers, you want to think about getting on the radio. What about local TV? Why not get them to come down and feature you as well? Like I say, there's always looking for stories. And you might say, Sophie, I don't have a story, I just have an open studio. I can promise you, you have a story. All right, when did you start out? What's your backstory as an artist? Say, what about the guests involved? What about, did you leave your job to become an artist? This is a story. People want to hear inspiring stories. How did you start up? Is this the very first time you're doing it and you're taking a sort of leap in the dark? Are you more established? What's the angle? So number 2, PR. Number 3, which we're now looking at the sort of things that I'm doing now and have done now, and that of course is online ads. So you might decide, hey, I'm going to put a bit of a budget aside and I'm going to do some Facebook and Instagram ads. And I'm going to get in front of my ideal target customer, right? So once you've done that piece and finding out who the audience are, be a little bit easier for you to put together an audience for Facebook and Instagram ads, because then you more likely have an idea who they are, you can create the audience and you can target an ad that's going to land and going to sit nicely in front of that audience. This is a great way to build your artist mailing list. It's a great way to let them know you've got an event on. It's a great way to have them follow your page or go and click to, maybe you've got a private view set up. That's what I've done. So we have a private view set up. You click through and get yourself invited to that. There are all these different angles and things that you can do, but definitely running ads would be fairly easy to set up for you. Now, here's my top tip about ads. I always say don't just boost the post, but actually go into your ads manager and set up proper audiences, proper targeting, and really, if you need some education around that, then look out, there'll be videos coming on that as well, but I also teach how to do that within my programs and membership. So this is something that is going to build your audience more rapidly than doing it organically, of course. So you have to weigh up, what have you got more of, time, or could you put a financial budget aside? And if you've got a financial budget, then obviously ads running away for you while you're doing those last minute tasks, like I was yesterday, finishing a painting, finishing a weaving, because I've actually got weavings that go in with my paintings. That's a bit of a side story. So that is something that can really work for you. Build the audience while you're preparing your open studio. All right, number 4, you're probably saying, you haven't mentioned social media yet, Sophie. Well, obviously now we're really lucky because we have social media. So a good part of promoting the open studio currently, right now, what we're doing is social media. So that primarily looks like Instagram stories every single day, taking the odd day as a break. If you're not sure why I do that, don't forget to check out my Instagram video here. So stories every few days, then take a break and start the story rolling again. post, obviously, with content, what's happening at the studio. Luckily, I've got a guest artist, so that helps. I can plug her, right? So we've been sort of plugging and tagging each other. Then there's the countdown, then there's the behind the scenes. There's all the work that goes into putting a open studio together. Your audience wants to see that, all right? They want to get a sense of what they're going to see should they come and visit. And then obviously there's doing this video, all right? So I've done a live video, and then there's reels, lots and lots and lots of reels. And again, if you're not sure about reels, guess what? I've got a video on reels, or I'll put all the links to all the videos I've mentioned in the description below. So by running reels, it's really quick video. People can get such more of a connection with what you're doing. So a little behind the scenes, or I did a video that walked down the pathway as there was chaos happening, as the decorators were here painting the outside of the house. Now, you don't need to do that, by the way, to do open house or open studio, but my partner really wanted the excuse to get a few tidying up jobs done. So that's been going on as well. But of course, that's something that people want to see, what's going on behind the scenes. That took me a few seconds to put that reel together. Quick video footage round into the house. All right, it's super easy. So social media, Facebook, you can do Facebook live videos, obviously. Facebook posts, put the Facebook event up. YouTube, LinkedIn, if your contacts are on LinkedIn, Twitter, you could be tweeting the entire experience the same way that I'm doing over on Instagram. So social media has got lots of different tactics that you can use within it to get people to your open studio. So it's a great all-rounder, obviously, in terms of marketing, but with a countdown going on, I think that whole live experience is particularly exciting on social media. All right, so there we have got 4. What is number 5? So number 5 is what I call the glue that holds it all together. And that is, yes, the email marketing. So I know that so many of you hate sending out emails to your audience, but I've got to let you know a couple of things. Number 1, they have opted in to be on your mailing list. What does that mean? They've said, yes, please, I'd like to hear more from you. So therefore, they're waiting for your emails, all right? I don't know how many times I want to stress that. So many times people say to me, oh my God, I don't want to send out all these emails. I don't want to annoy my audience. They ask to be emailed. Then you'll only annoy them if you are annoying, which I'm really sure you're not, all right? Give them value, give them information, give them what they need to know. When does your venue open? What times? How do they get there? Where do they park? Where's a map for them to follow? What's going to be there? What are the features? What are the facilities? You know, where can they park? Can they get a cup of tea or refreshment? Is there a toilet there? You know, all these things make it really, really useful for that audience who's going to come and visit your open studio. If you're part of a trail, what venues have you got sort of nearby? I'm really lucky, I've got one just down the road, and we work together to send people to each other's studios. In fact, she's going to hang a sculpture in my front garden, and I'm going to say, hey, want to see more of that? Just go down the corner and to the bottom of the road, and this is where Carolyn is, and you can see all her work there. So there's all sorts of things that you can do to really help each other. Obviously, if you're in that trail, then both social media and email marketing, you can actually send people to where the trail website is, where they can get information on the other venues to choose to come and visit alongside yours. So don't be frightened with sending emails, it's important. And as you get closer to the day, you know, your audience will forget, oh, when was it again? What time did it open again? How did I get there? Like, we're all human. What's the best email they can get on that day? Hey, quick reminder, if you're popping in this weekend, here's a quick link to Google Maps, opening times, easy parking. All right, people need that. I know myself, I've gone to look at open studios, and I'm kind of thinking, I think it's next weekend. Oh, I suppose it might open at 10, but what if it doesn't open till 11? And then I'm scrolling through Facebook trying to find an event. We don't want your audience to do that. Your ideal customers hopefully are on your mailing list and will receive that email. And if not, they're following you on social media, and then when they get to your venue, you're going to ask them if they'd like to join the email list. All right, so those are the 5 things that are a mixture of what I did before and what I'm doing now. And you can do all of them now, right? Be part of a trail. Definitely do the PR. Get the old social media working for you. Get the email list going for you. Get all the things happening together. And don't forget, and the online ads as well happening together. So if it feels a bit overwhelming, you don't need to do all 5. Pick maybe 3 things that you think, okay, I'm comfortable with. Email marketing for one, likely social media, and then you're maybe going to pick a 3rd one. So good luck. Let me know in the comments below what marketing tip you do for your open studio. If you've done it before, what do you do? What do you find works really, really well? And there's so many other things that we've been doing that I haven't had time to talk about today, but I'd love to hear what you do and what you're doing. Or if you've not done one yet and you're gonna open up, then let us know what you found most helpful with this video. Next up, I'm going to be sharing some top tips in preparation. Like, what have I been doing to prepare for Open Studio? Because in your head you think, oh, put some artwork up, put a for sale sign underneath, job done. There's a little bit more to it if you really want to make it a bit more professional. I'm going to share top tips to what I've been doing to sort of make it more like a business setup. So everything's streamlined, everything we've put together now is all branded and looking beautiful, and there'll be items I'll be able to use again for ongoing events. If you want to know what those are, look out for the next video. In the meantime, have a wonderful rest of your day, whenever you're watching this. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you on another video. Take care. Bye-bye.